Hello, my name is Ioannis. In this video tutorial, we are going to take a step further. In the previous video tutorial, we created an entity relational diagram. Now, finally, we are going to create data dictionaries. By creating data dictionaries, we finalize all the design process of a relational database. Straight after this process, we are going to start developing the actual database. To complete the data dictionaries, the process is simple. The first thing we need to do is calculate how many fields we have. So in this case, I have 22 fields. I'm going to copy this, and here I have also 22 rows. I'm going to highlight them, right-click, and select this option, Keep Text Only. As you can see now, the color is no longer needed for this process. So we can actually see the F case, and as we can see the P case, the primary key, and the F case, the foreign keys, the process to actually put the data type is straightforward. Every single PK, primary key, needs to be set to auto number. And because we are going to link all the primary keys with the foreign keys, every foreign key must be a number. So once I type the first one, I'm going to double click here, Control C to copy, or right click and select copy. And then I'm going to click here, Control V to paste, Control V to paste, and so on and so forth. So all the foreign keys needs to be set to a number. Now, the name and the surname will be short text, no spaces. I'm going to double click here, I'm going to right click, select copy. I'm going to click here, Control V to paste. The address also will be short text, the phone number, short text, mobile number, short text. The email will be short text. The job title, we'll leave it as short text. The criminal record, in fact, the criminal record, we can set this as a long text. The health record, we can set it up as a long text as well. I'm going to Control C, Control V to paste. The attendance, we're going to set this as a number. And the national insurance, we're going to set it up as a short text. Now, the living date, we're going to set it up as a date time. I'm going to copy this, Control C to copy, and the start date, we're going to set it up as a date and time, and the date of birth, DOB, we'll set it up as date/time, and the salary, we're going to set it up as a currency. Okay, so my data types are now fully completed. Now the validation rules we're going to discuss in a minute. Now on the description, I'm going to type here, this is the, then I'm going to put question marks there of the, I need to make sure I'm going to copy the name of the table. I'm going to Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste, of the staff table. So I'm going to copy this, I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to highlight all these fields here. I'm going to right click and select copy, paste text, keep text only. As you can see here, the formatting is different to here. So I'm going to place the mouse cursor somewhere here. Use the format painter brush and highlight this text to make sure that I have exactly the same font style. Now, the question mark will be replaced with the actual field. So I'm going to Control C to copy this. I'm going to double click here, Control V to paste. I'm going to highlight this, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. If you have extra space there, you can delete them, or you can just type it manually. I prefer Control C to copy, Control V to paste, just to keep the consistency there, and so on and so forth. I can delete the extra space after. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. What you can always do as well is just reduce the width by clicking and dragging. We're here now. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and so on and so forth. So what you can do, you can actually speed up the video a little bit, so you don't have to wait for me. Once you have a clear view of exactly of what needs to be done. Now, of course, quite a few fields have double spaces here. So what I can do, I can just highlight these two spaces, Control F, I'm going to drop down the list and select replace, and I'm going to click here, add a single space. So here I've got double spaces, and here I'm going to have a single space, replace all. It's okay. So saves me to go through 21 times. Okay, so now I do no longer have double spaces. Okay, the next thing we need to do is put typical data. So for the primary key, I'm just going to put here 2. Title ID, so it's going to be 3. So Mr., Mrs., Doctor, etc., etc. So I'm going to put the foreign key there. The name, I'm just going to put John. Surname, I'm just going to put here Green, and then I'm going to put gender 2, nationality 4, town, just make up some numbers here, the address 23 Green Road. So the phone number is 0161 555 555. The mobile number will be 079 44 44 544. The date of birth will be the 1st of the 2nd 2000. Let's make it 1990. The email address will be jg@gmail.com. Start date 1st of the 1st 2020. Let's put 2021. Job title sales. Salary £20,000. Let's remove the pound there. In fact, yes, we set as currency. Put back the pound there. leaving date, you can put here not applicable. In fact, we cannot put not applicable because it's date and time. We can set it as null. Null means blank. Criminal record, we can set it as a null. Health record, we can set it as not applicable. Or in fact, we can set not applicable for the criminal record as well. So attendance, let's put 50. Let's put 95%. It's going to be. And national insurance number. Okay. So this is the typical data. So now we finish this. The primary key for this table is the ID PK. So that's the primary key. I'm just going to make this bold. Okay, I can copy now this table. Control C to copy. I'm going to Control Enter after the full stop to go to a new page. And the next table I'm going to use is the customers table, which is the next biggest table. I'm going to highlight all the text, copy. So let's calculate how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm going to highlight those below. I'm going to right click and then select delete. Is that one? Delete rows. Okay. Or you can backspace and then click OK. I'm going to highlight now all these fields. I'm going to right click and select keep text only. So I'm pasting the customers data, the fields from the customers table. Control C to copy. Control V to paste. So I have my stuff. Now I'm having my customer here. The font size is, the font color is different. So I'm going to use the Format Painter brush to keep the same color. Okay, for some reason it's not changing. Let's change it from here. Is it that one? No. Yeah, it's that one. Okay, so the primary key is auto number. The first name is short text. The foreign keys, we need to set the foreign keys as numbers. The address, copy that. The address will be short text. The date of birth will be date and time. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. The postcode will be short text. The telephone number, mobile number, email address will be short text. Here we have some more foreign keys. Foreign keys always number. And the national insurance number short text. So now I'm gonna delete all this. I'm gonna highlight them and press the delete key on my keyboard. I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna put 2 question marks. I'm gonna change that to customer. I'm gonna highlight this, Control C to copy, or right click and select copy. I'm going to highlight all the rest, right click and paste, keep text only. And now I'm going to follow the same procedure, as the same process as well as I followed earlier. I'm gonna copy and paste the attributes over. If you made a mistake, you can always Ctrl Z to undo. And again, if you have a clear view of what I'm doing here, you can skip the video. You can just follow the same process for the rest of your tables, because this is exactly what I'm going to do. Again, we don't have to worry. Oops, we have here email and fax. That's one space there. Now I spotted a mistake here of my ERD, which means I can actually pull this further up. I'm going to rearrange things a little bit. So there's a way to validate your ERD by actually doing this. So any mistakes you've made in the previous step can be easily identified and fixed before submitting your work to your manager or to your teacher. So we need to right click here and insert a new row below. I'm just gonna highlight all this data, Ctrl C to copy. I'm gonna right click here and paste keep text only. Oops. Let's highlight all this, right click, then keep text only. From here I'm gonna remove the fax and the comma, and from here I'm gonna remove the email, the comma. So the email will be short text, the fax will be short text, the title will be number. Okay, that's okay. So I can go here now and select the email. I'm going to select the fax here. Title IDFK. That's my foreign keys. Nationality ID FK. Country ID FK, and then national insurance. Now I'm gonna Control F. Oops, I can Control F, and I'm gonna replace double spaces with a single space. I can do this now, or I can do this later. I'm not gonna do it yet. I'm gonna do it all at once at the end, because as you can see, I'm going to keep having the same issue throughout every single data dictionary I'm going to create. So what I need to do here is just reduce a little bit the size here. Okay, the next thing I need to do is put here the typical data. So for the primary key, I leave 2 there. For the first name, I'm just going to put John here. For the surname, I'll put green. Then we have a foreign key, so it's the gender ID 2. So it's going to be male, female, or other. So it's going to be up to 3 numbers. Town, I'll leave this as it is. County, I'll leave this as it is. Now the address. Got the address here, so I'm going to copy that. and paste that here. Date of birth, go here before, date of birth, postcode, well, 146DD, phone number, telephone number, I'll leave them as they are, email address, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. That's okay to have the same data, it doesn't really matter as long as this is the typical data. Just make sure you have data that makes sense. So this is a foreign key, just gonna put 2 there. This is another foreign key, I'm gonna put 3. And national insurance number. Okay. So that's the typical data. Again, I'm going to leave the primary key is IDPK, which is fine. So I'm going to leave the validation rules to the end. I'm going to follow the same process now. I'm going to highlight all this data, copy this, go to the next page, or place the mouse cursor here, press Control and Enter, the Enter key on your keyboard to go to a new page, and then Control V to paste, or right click and select this option here. The next table I'm going to use is the supplier. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay, I'm going to highlight all the data from the supplier now. Control C to copy. I need to calculate how many fields I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that one's here can go. I'm gonna delete cells. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna delete all that. Press the delete key. I'm going to change that to question mark, question mark. I'm going to highlight all this. I'm going to right click, select keep text only. Now the primary key will be auto number. The first name will be short text. Now the contact name will be short text. The surname will be short text. Oops. I need to copy this number here. So this is the foreign key. Has to be a number. So the address will be short text. The contract length will be a number. The mobile number will be short text. The town city will be number because the foreign key. The rating will be number. These two will be numbers because they are foreign keys. And the postcode will be short text. So let's copy this now. Control C to copy. Highlight all these cells, Control V to paste, and now I'm going to follow the same process. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and so on and so forth. Again, it is not hard, it's just a little bit of time consuming. and then finally the postcode. Okay, the next thing we need to put is the typical data. So the number for the primary key will be 2. I'll leave as 2. You can change it to 22 if you like, or whatever number you want to put there. So the name is this. Put John again. Surname, it's gender, come before. So gender will be 1, for instance. We'll put 2, I think, before. 2 will be for male. Gender, yeah, because it's John Green. Gender, yeah, we'll put gender as number 2 for male. Yeah, number 2. Okay. Contact name, contact surname, so I can delete that, bring that down, bring that down. The name of the supplier will be Tesco's. Let's put Asda. Should ask them for sponsor me. Right. So address. Let's put this address here. Control X. Control V to paste. Contract length. Let's put 12 months. Mobile number 079 555. Town, city, let's put 3. Rating, put 5 stars. County, let's put 1. Country, let's put 2. And postcode, let's put 456 SS. Okay, so the primary key will be IDPK. I've done this table now. I can highlight now this data, Control C to copy, go to the next page, Control V to paste. So the next biggest table I have is the transaction. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I need to calculate count how many fields I have. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Control C to copy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that ones can go. Delete cells. Okay. I'm gonna highlight this now. Right click. Keep text only. I'm gonna highlight and delete this. I'm going to change that to question mark, question mark. I'm going to copy this, Control C to copy, highlight this, Control V to paste. The primary key is auto number. The date will be date and time. The VAT number will be a number. The quantity will also be a number. The product ID, because the foreign key, will be a number. The amount will be currency. The customer ID is a foreign key. It's going to be a number. And customer ID. Okay, why do I have ID there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I need to delete that one. Backspacer. Click OK. Okay. So I've set up my data types now. I'm gonna go to the description now. I'm just gonna put here Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and so on and so forth. Now what you could do here, you could have the staff ID as well, if you wish. So you know which member of staff basically has served each customer. You don't have to. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay. So the typical data, the primary key, let's put some numbers here. 23. Date, let's put 1st of the 1st 2021. VAT, quantity, let's put 5. Product ID 55. Total amount £56. Customer ID 12. That's okay. Okay, we finished now with the transaction table. I'm going to copy that. Control C to copy. Now I can skip a couple lines here. Don't need a new page. And I'm going to go for the product table now. Control V to paste. I'm going to count my attributes 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Right click here. Keep text formatting. I'm going to highlight the last row here. I don't need this. I'm going to delete it. So the ID primary key is the auto number. The name is short text. The quantity I'll leave it as number. The best before date has to be date and time. The description will be long text. And the price will be currency. I'm gonna delete this. One mistake I did before. That's the reason why I'm deleting them. Here I need to change the stuff here. Here we have customer, but I forgot here to actually change the word customer to supplier. So I just need to do this manually. I just realized that. That's the reason why it is important to do this at the beginning. You won't forget. But if you do miss it, you can always put it afterwards. Make sure you're not gonna miss it. We have double spaces here, so we don't have to worry. We can sort out this at the end. This is the transaction table, not the customer. So I'm going to type the word transaction once. Control C to copy. Double click. Control V to paste. Double click. Control V to paste. Double click. Control V to paste, and so on and so forth. So this table is my product table. I'm going to put question marks. Control C to copy. Highlight this. Keep text. Now I can go through and add the attributes. Things like this you can fix them as you go along, like capital P's and stuff, capital letters or extra spaces. Okay, so the primary key, I'll put a number here. Oops, Control Z to undo. Product name number 87. Name of the product BLT sandwich. Quantity in stock, let's put 30. Best before date 03/03/2022. Description, this is, and then you can actually put the description. The price £3.50. Okay, I finished now with this table, and I'm gonna highlight this, Control C to copy, Control Enter to go to a new page, Control V to paste, and the only thing I now have to do is include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small tables. So I'm gonna start with the TBL gender. So this is fairly easy. I'm going to delete all the fields. I'm going to leave this the name only and the primary key, the ID, PK, and the name is exactly the same attributes throughout. And the only thing I need to do is just change that to gender. Control double click here, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And for gender we'll put male. For the ID we'll put 2, because this is what we'll be using. ID 2 is male. The primary key is the ID field. I'm gonna copy that, skip a couple of lines, and I'll paste this a few times. Place the mouse cursor, Control Enter to go to a new page. So we have 6 small tables, so 3 here and 3 here, so 6. So the next thing I need to do is basically go through TBL nationality, change this to nationality, and I'm just going to put here Greek. Leave ID 2. The next one is title. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Just going to change that to title. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Just going to put here Mr. I'll leave this ID 2 as well. The next one is town, city. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, leave 2 as well. Let's put here Salford. County. Control V to paste. Double click here, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Lancashire. And finally country. Double click, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Here England. And my data dictionaries are now done. I need to validate this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 plus 3, 11 tables. So I'm going to check my ERD. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to save these now. And the next thing I need to do is put some validation rules. My advice to everyone is to do not put more than 3 validation rules on each table. However, you need to include at least 1 validation rule on each table. Before I do that, I'm gonna Control F. Let's replace the double spaces before we forget. In fact, I'm gonna put triple space here first and replace it with a single space. Replace all. Okay, we had 23 triple spaces. I'm just gonna put here double space and replace it with a single space. Replace all. We had 56. Okay, so now our data dictionaries should look better. Okay, it's much better now. So Control S to save, or click on the little floppy disk icon here. So validation rules. On the video description, I'm going to include the validation rules document, which is that one here. So here there is the validation, description of the validation rule, the actual validation rule, and then an explanation of the validation rule. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to modify one of the validation rules to show you how to do this as well. Okay, we're starting with the staff table. I'm going to put for the first name and the surname, I'm going to put a validation rule to accept text only, so A to Z. I'm going to copy this validation rule and I'm going to paste it here. Control V to paste, Control V to paste. Now there will be, Control Z to undo. First name is here and surname is here. Now if the person has an apostrophe on their name, like people from Ireland, they call O'Neill or Toole, so they have an apostrophe on their name. So we need to also include an additional character here. Now, if we go further down, we have digits and letters only, or that one letters and space only. So I'm going to highlight this, Control C to copy. Or sometimes some people have multiple surnames as well. So I'm going to delete these validation rules. I'm going to replace it with that one here to allow spaces. I'm just going to open Notepad so I can actually show you sometimes the formatting of Microsoft Word is not right, so it's not going to work. So we have A to Z or a space. So we can say here or, copy that. Instead of space, we can have an apostrophe. Okay. Can you see here the the apostrophe here? If we added the apostrophe in Microsoft Word, let me zoom in. If I did it here, so I'm going to copy that. Control C to copy. Control V to paste. If I included the apostrophe here, I've got this character here, and this character will not be recognized by my database. So this is why it is important for you not to include the apostrophes within Microsoft Word, but within Notepad, because Notepad doesn't apply any formatting. So this validation rule will work fine. So we're gonna copy this, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and Control V to paste. So I have this validation rule now, which will allow people to put spaces or put apostrophes on their surname. Okay, but if they try to put numbers, they're gonna receive a warning, an error message. Okay, I have two validation rules here. Do I need to put any other validation rule there? Let's put the email address there. So here's the validation rule for email. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay, so as I've mentioned before, maximum 3 validation rules per table. And I'm going to apply the same validation rules here for the first name and surname. That's okay. Here we have first name and surname. Well, let's put here on the name as well the same validation rule. That's okay. We have 3 validations here, validation rules. Now for the transaction, we need to put on the total amount or quantity, not null. Future date no more than 100, positive letters, you must fill the field, so not null. People have to put the quantity, and that's okay. And then for the name, we can actually put the same validation rule here. We have all the names. I have a blank page. You can always backspace it. So I've got 2 validation rules there. On the transaction, I can put not null as well. On the date and the quantity. Now for the gender, the gender doesn't have any apostrophe or spaces, so I'm gonna copy and paste this validation rule. Nationality the same, title the same. I don't want people to put full stops and stuff. Town, city, same. County the same. And then country the same. Okay, so I have applied validation rules on each table. Maximum of 3 different validation rules, minimum of 1 validation rule. So now my data dictionaries are fully completed. I can save these now. I can close this document, and I'm now ready to start developing my actual database. In the next video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do this. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.